Can you hear me, KK? Can you hear me? Yes, you can. I'm not going to touch the mic. I'm going to leave it right here. I'm not even going to move it. Nothing. I'm not doing it. Loud and clear. Good. Good. All right. So, could you hear none of the last the last one? None of it. It's probably, I was playing music, but it wasn't from the original creator. So yeah. Anyway, after I coughed, up to the coughing. Yeah. How come that doesn't happen to Robert Wallace? It's good to see you guys. Thanks for coming. So you heard me. I got very, very ill. I don't know if I walked into a sneeze. I don't know what happened at the Trump rally. There were a lot of fucking people. You guys, there were 35,000 people waiting to get in for the Trump rally. And it was amazing. Now, the most amazing thing about I'll go into it in a second. It's good to see you guys. I'm so sorry that it took so long. You guys, I was so sick. I haven't been sick like that. I thought when it initially hit me that I thought it was allergies. Oh, I got a little bit of a cough and I still feel all right. The next day, I feel like the flu got up and landed on my face, and I was out of commission. I was so out of commission. I thought about, I'm still congested. I feel 100 times better. It was awesome, D. It was electric is what it was. There were 35,000 people. Think about that number for a second. There were 35,000. Oh, wow. Hey, Ralph Dame. It's good to see you. There were 35,000 people in line. Everybody say hi to Ralph. I haven't seen you in a while, Ralph. I hope you're doing good, man. It's great to catch up with you. How are things in Australia, my friend? Oh, Ralph getting the love. It's good. You deserve it, Ralph. So, what a phenomenal rally. But beyond the rally, I'm sorry. Hopefully, my sound is still here. Yeah, I'm fighting this flu cold for the last 4 days now, and I finally am off the couch as of today, so I feel better. That's good. That's very good. But so here's the thing about the rally. So I'm downtown, and I'm going through, and believe it or not, I tried at least 4 times to go live and do a live stream while I was walking through downtown. The problem is that there were so many people down there, and I mean so many people down there, that you couldn't get like a cellular signal even out. Like, it took me 2 times to even launch the live stream, and then it just sat there and just spun. And then it would just say the live stream could not be loaded. The live stream could not be loaded. And I'm like, okay. So there were so many cell phones downtown that I don't know. It just all got washed away. There was just no getting around it. There was nothing I could do. I hoped I could. I couldn't. But I'm here now to give you my account of the Trump rally. So what I was starting to get into when I went on the first time was to say that it was incredible for the people, the patriots that I met. There were so many patriots, you guys. There were so many mega hats, and there were people selling mega hats left and right, $10 a pop. Now, I want to tell you a story because I finally got my mega hat at the rally, but I got it while I was in line. Oh, you guys, you know what else? I broke up a fight. I broke up a fight between two strangers. I, I have to tell you some stuff. It was cool. Oh, and let's just check the chat for a minute. I'll get into the stories. It really was off the chain lit. The rally was lit. The amount of people that I met that are just patriots. You guys, we are not alone. You feel like you're alone in this fight. There are so many people that are absolutely awake, and it's growing, I'm assuming now by the day. The Democrats are shooting themselves in the foot. All right, hang on. I'll go get the hat. It's going to take me a minute. Okay, I'm back. All right, so the funny thing is, there's a story. There's actually a story that goes with this hat. Oh, this looks so good with my blue shirt. Still holding it. Mega. All right, so mega. It's making my ears stick out a little bit. I don't like that. I'm kind of readjust this. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's make America great again. So I got this hat at the rally in line. The rally line at one point was 1.7 miles long. And unless you know what that looks like with people, I don't like that. Maybe my ear just sticks out that way. I need a little tape behind my ear because it kind of, that looked better, but it wants to stick out. Go back. Yeah, there you go. Just tuck my ear. That looks even worse. That's horrendous. Okay, I'm just gonna do this. All right. Thanks, Moonchild. It's good to see you. So let's make America great again. That was the theme, absolutely, of the rally. You guys, there were so many of these hats. So many of them. I like a fitted cap, if I'm being honest. But I'm gonna wear it because it looks very good with the blue. Hey, I got red, white, and blue. Not planned. Mega. All right. All right. So as I said when I started, hey John Barry, born a racer. All right, I'll get into the rally. Hang on, because some funny shit happened. They're not funny, but Irony's funny. There was some ironic stuff that happened too. It was weird. That should be clear. Yeah, all the way. All right. So let me just start off by saying this. So we get to the rally. We're driving up. They've got cop cars everywhere. We crest. Grand Rapids is kind of built up on a little bit of a hill, but so as you're moving into Grand Rapids, you're kind of going up, and then you crest down, and then it's kind of the city by the river. When we crested the hill and saw what was in front of us, it was just like one of those like, oh my God, oh wow, look at all of the people that are that are here. There were people everywhere, bigger than any concert, and we get major concerts that come to our town. Bigger. Yeah, definitely don't have the blonde hair. He doesn't either. He does. There were so many people. So we parked, and the atmosphere was electric. Nobody was crazy. Nobody was anything. But there were so many people. And there was paraphernalia of Trump and MAGA, and the buzz was in the air the day before. They were everywhere. And I don't know why Trump picked Grand Rapids to launch after the Mueller report. I don't. Maybe it was all put into play. Maybe. But it doesn't matter because this is where he launched from. And he did take a whole new tone, even though he said a lot of the same things that you've all heard in the rallies. He took a new tone in his message, and that was great. And his message, I think, basically what you all have probably heard multiple times. Like I said, it's been a few days. I was very sick. I got ill after the rally. Still fighting it. I don't know what it's from. I think I walked into a bad sneeze, or someone was sick. But the message was offense. We're going on the offense, and it's good because you're seeing it now. Trump is going on the offense. He is calling out these people more and more now since the rally. There's definitely been a shift in tone. The tone has changed. I, for one, love it. It makes me definitely trust the plan as put out by Q, because as most of you know, it's statistically and mathematically impossible that Q is a LARP, and that what we're witnessing isn't what we're witnessing. We are seeing massive projection out of the left. And when I say projection, I mean fear. These people are acting in a way that they don't know how to act. It's all part of the plan. It's great. It's really great. You know what's funny is it would have been so much nicer 6 months ago to have where we're at right now happen then, because emotionally we've been through so many ups and downs. It's been a ride. It's been a ride. And I've stated this before, but I'm just, you know what? I'm just a creature of habit. So I'll just repeat myself, is that I think as much as this is designed to wake people up, it's also designed to have the people that are awake not be to the point where we're in a I am right, you are. We don't know. We know one thing. We know that this plan is moving forward, and we're just the early adopters that entrusted the plan and have held on to it, but we don't have the answers. I've learned that we don't have the answers to all of it. We just know that eventually the things that were being shown are coming. Okay, I can deal with that. But that is humility. That is humbling. It's been humbling. And people like me, I'm a fucking know-it-all, you guys. I'm not a know-it-all that spikes it in your face, but I mean, I like to think that I'm on the right side of knowledge and stuff. And what it's taught me is that, yeah, I'm on the right side of history. I'm definitely on the right side of history. But it also tells me that this plan is so elaborate and so crazy that even people that are completely awake and are following the plan don't know the plan. We don't. I don't. At least I don't know the cadence of the plan. I only know to trust it. I guess I know to be a patriot. What say ye? What say you? I'll tell you more about the rally. I'll tell you more about being in line. It's good to see you all. You guys all saying hi to each other. Welcome on a Tuesday night. Thanks for coming. We got some friends that are here. We got some old friends that are here. And it's great to see every single one of you. That much I will say. So we park. We're at the Trump rally. We get out. There's thousands and thousands of people. The first thing we do is we walk by the protesters as we're walking towards the back of the line, because these people these people are fanatical in the best kind of way, but they're fanatical like we're lining up at 7 a.m. for a 7 p.m. rally. Fanatical. And I'm sorry, just some of us have lives and we couldn't do that. But these were your VIP patriots that were in the front. You know, they got VIP passes, and God bless them. God bless them. But these are people that are even more fanatical than we could ever be. Ever be. And we get there and we look, and there's just people everywhere. So we walk by the protesters, and I see some Antifa scum who got their faces covered, wearing the black gloves, and they're holding signs, but they're not causing any problems. Okay. They're just being who they are. And there's a lot of people holding up. Not a lot. That's actually not true. In fact, I would say that the people that were protesting were, if there's 35,000 people in line for the rally, there's maybe less than 100 that are standing together. All right, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say less than 200 that are protesting. The movement is gaining much strength. However, the people that are protesting are fucking delusional. They're either delusional or they're paid provocateurs, or just paid to just protest. I don't know, but they're there. And what I really liked is that everybody that was there for the rally, nobody bit. Nobody bit. I think that they would have wanted people to bite and engage them, and everybody just kind of looked at them like, you're really fucking sad. You're a sad, sordid group. And everybody just kind of looked at them like they had pity. Like, you guys are so asleep. You're so asleep. But yet nobody tried to educate them, because if you can't be educated at this point to the point where you wear a mask and all that shit, how are you going to educate that type of individual? I guess you could try, but listen, the truth is out here. We already know this. We're all well aware of the truth. And this rally really, really put its mark on where we are as a nation. I said it before the rally when I did my live stream, is that maybe this is to be, maybe I didn't say it in quite these words, but maybe this was meant to be a temperature, a gauge to see where really middle America was at. And you know what? If there's one thing that West Michigan does in Grand Rapids, is that when we are impassioned and we are behind something, man, these people are great. They are. We have flaws like every other city and, you know, district and all that in the world, but uniquely, West Michigan it vastly shares a lot of the same morals with each other. And it's not that nobody really looks at themselves better than anybody. We just want a better life for everybody. We want the promises of the forefathers. We want what's going to be under Trump's guidance to be the truth. And I think all of you that listen to this channel feel the same way, is that we feel this way. But I mean, there really is a collective think. And I've never really felt it more than now, than going to that rally to see that, oh my God, there's so many fucking people. There's so many more. All right. So if you watch the channel for a while, you know that my youngest daughter, who's a freshman in college, her boyfriend, I mean, they're a little more than that. They're not engaged, but I mean, he's been around and been in the family for a couple years now. We get along, you know. I talk to him pretty openly about these topics, you know, not putting my thoughts, like saying you need to be this way, because I definitely don't believe in saying that you need to believe this, and if you don't, you're fucked up. I don't believe in doing that to people. But through talk and education and just general speak, I think he's come around. But after we were in line after about 2 hours, and I had met so many people, and I'll get into the discussions that I had, because there were some really neat things that happened while I was in line waiting to get into the Trump rally. Some things that they maybe won't blow your mind, but they blew my mind. But he just looks at me after a couple hours and he goes, "You're with your people. These are your people, Bill." And I just looked at him. I was just like, "Yeah, you're right, Junior. You're right." And when he said it, I was just kind of blown away, because it made me think that, you know what, guys, as much as you feel alone, we are so not alone. We are so far beyond alone. It's not even funny. We are not alone, you guys. We are the majority. We are we are all the majority. There are so many patriots. And what's great is these aren't people that are sitting in their parents' basements. These aren't anything. Do you know that the overwhelming majority of the people that were in line for this Trump rally are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s? I met people that drove up from Chicago. I met people that drove up from 5 hours away. These people are coming. This is 15 minutes from my house. These people are driving hours to come up and see President Trump. There were people walking around with Q signs, trust the plan, Q plus signs, Q plus plus. They were everywhere, and it's all being shunned on mainstream media. The only information that's going out about Q at like 98% is negative. Just like the information that goes out on President Trump, it's negative, but that's okay. The reason the information is going out is that out of the 6 corporations that run all of media, as you're well aware, are deep state run, or at least influenced. And when I say influenced, it's like you're going to spread this narrative or we're going to wreck you. People are so awake. But that being said, people are also haven't quite found their voice. They know enough to show up to a rally to the point where you have a 10,000 person venue that that has 35,000 people in line. You guys, the deep state's going down. They've lost. In the court of public perception, they're done. They're fucking done. And we are on the winning side of history. So as I'm going through and I'm listening to people, and people are holding up signs, because this is just a couple days after the Mueller report and after Attorney General William Barr came out with his 4-page, hey, there's no collusion, and we don't feel like there's any kind of case that we can really make a case for obstruction. I'll go into more about the Trump rally in a minute. I'm going to read the chat and have a sip of beer. It's good to see you all. Thanks for coming on this Tuesday night. Tip of my MAGA hat to you. So many great patriots in this chat tonight. Awesome of you to be here, guys. And as I said before, my full intent was to go on, while I was in line at the Trump rally. I started to say this, I think, in my last live stream, but then it cut out. But there were so many people down there that the cellular system, whatever, with your phones, couldn't get through. It just, you couldn't do anything. You could not do anything. I tried to go live from being in the line. I tried to go live. They had the little baby Trump balloon with a diaper on it, and the amount of protesters like in that area was so weak that I was laughing my ass off inwardly. But I was going to take a video with it behind me, like a selfie, and have you see it. And there were like 4 people. Like one person was banging a gong, like gong 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 gong. Donald Trump sucks. Gong 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 gong. And there was nobody joining in. There were just kind of people who just kind of had their hands in their pockets. And they were just kind of like, it was just, that whole thing is, hey, Em. That whole thing is, hey, Trey Trey. Hey, Robert Wallace. Sorry, I'm saying hi. I'm going back into the rally. Thanks for coming, guys. Good to see you. Talking a little bit about the Trump rally. The beautiful thing about the rally was not really necessarily what he said. He did come out with guns blazing. Okay. He definitely let people know that, as Q stated, instead of us being, and it's funny that he used a football analogy in the Q drop. I don't know if you guys seen it or heard about it. You probably have by now. Where I was saying before that we're like, and I was grossly wrong. Not that I was completely wrong, but I was gross. And I'm like, we're at 1st and 10 from the 5, and we're going in for the score. We weren't at that point, and we are not at that point right now. But what Q did say is that 1st and 10 from the 50. 1st and 10 from the 50. That was after the Mueller report dropped. That was a big tell. 1st and 10 from the 50. I don't know if you guys caught it. You probably did. You probably heard people say it. But that was a huge tell. That, in conjunction with another Q drop that showed a picture of Trump with a shit-eating grin on his face, and the caption under it in the meme said, "My turn. My turn." And a shit-eating grin. And that should tell all of us that we are on the offense now. The Mueller report, William Barr came out. It put a big giant pin into the balloon of the left of collusion, corruption, obstruction. He's going down. His kids are going down. It was just, after it happened, it was done. And now they've revitalized that notion that, well, we have to see the whole report and this and that. And something that I had suspected maybe was kind of reiterated by a channel that I absolutely respect, which is the X22 report. I absolutely respect the X22 report, everything about it. Dave is he's woke and been woke for a long time, and I get a lot of information from him. But a thought that I was having Because, I mean, if you followed Q, then you've known for a while that you're not really sure of the position of Mueller, other than he's probably working to save himself. Same with Rosenstein, the assistant attorney general. They're working to save themselves. Part of the corruption of what's been going on in America, but maybe not necessarily deep state people, but definitely have had their hands in dirty shit. And as much as Trump was recruited to be the president, also maybe these guys were handpicked to say, we're going to talk to you first. We're going to put you in these positions, and your actions from here going forward will determine the outcome of your family and the rest of your life. So go ahead and sit on that, sleep on that for a minute, and you think about what you want to do. And I think that they decided that they were going to do the best that they could for their lives and their futures. Because, guys, I mean, honestly, have you all found yourself in a compromising position and maybe not wanted to be there? Yeah, possibly. And what they did is sick, evil, and wrong. Yeah. But were they the puppet masters, or were they caught up in the game? And if they're caught up in the game, do they deserve like discipline and all that? Yeah. But what they could deliver in this grand scheme of the Great Awakening of the movement of where this is going, was their position that they could fulfill for the patriots a point where they could make atonement? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see if that comes out. That might come out. I think the Mueller report is part of that. So the part that I'm getting about an X-22 report that I heard, that I had that thought earlier, was that, did they purposely rule out obstruction? Like, we can't make a determination either way, in order to get the Democrats to come out and scream for the entire Mueller report to be released. This guy that they put on a pedestal for 2 years with an unlimited budget, unlimited manpower to go out there and find something on Trump. The report came out, and now they're screaming for the entire report to come out. Was it all in an effort to get the Democrats to actually beg for their own demise without knowing it? I think so. It's the only thing that they have left. As the noose tightens around their throats, the proverbial noose tightens around their throats, the projection's huge. They didn't accept Attorney General Barr's explanation on what happened. They're now demanding the full Mueller report with no redactions. And if you know the Great Awakening, if you know Q, and if you know the plan, it's funny because these people might just scream to the point where they release the whole thing unredacted, and it just shows all of the shit that they've been pulling against Trump to their demise. I think so. I think that's how genius this plan actually is. It's that genius. Is that Q's not going to have to take them down. The plan is so smart. The plan is going to make them take themselves down by screaming for a report that is going to implicate every single one of them. And if you take that on top of the FISA reports that were signed off to launch the entire Russian fake dossier to begin with, which will also come out and be fully redacted, then I think Q's words will come to light where it says FISA brings down the House. The FISA documents will bring down the House. And by the House, I mean the House of Representatives, which are run by the Democrats at this point in time. That's one part of Q's drops where it says future proves past that we haven't quite seen yet. Future will prove the past. And when the FISA documents are released, it will prove the pass of what Q's saying that FISA brings down the House. This plan is genius. It just is. I'm sorry. It is. It's so genius. I struggle at times to wrap my head around it, but yeah, other times I have epiphanies and I see how it is. So back to the Trump rally, back to being in line. So I've had a couple of afterthoughts. I wish I would have taken my drone with me. Number one, I would have flown it up above and did the whole line, but I didn't. In the future, I will do that. And I thought about if I had taken my drone, I would have like hung a little banner under it, like a napkin, or maybe just I don't know, a bandana, a white bandana, and wrote something on there like "Make noise for the president" or "Make noise for Q," and just flown it and walked along the whole line. Because I think that would have been powerful. And there were people that did stuff like they walked the whole line, but I think a drone would have been really cool in that instance. And I probably could have really did something original that I haven't seen, but it's an afterthought. So it is what it is. You guys, there were so many people. There's more people there. There were more people downtown than anything I've ever seen. And they were all mega. But they weren't belligerent. That's what's funny. MAGA people, by and large, were not crazy. I mean, at all. They are hardworking Americans that have seen enough. And if you listen to President Trump and you listen to the truths that come out of him, we know this. Some of us have known this for so long. The message, I've told you this before, our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt government establishment. The first lines out of the 5-minute speech that got Trump elected. Our movement is about replacing a failed and corrupt government establishment. Everything is hyperbolic. Everything is hyperbole these days. And even that speech was hyperbole. But in hindsight, that speech was straight fire. That was a straight message to them. When Trump said, "I heard you, I'm going to drain the swamp and I'm going to get right on it." He said that the day he got inaugurated after he had his hand on that Bible. I'm going to get right on it. You know what? Step one. The plan was moving forward. And they've been doing nothing. Thanks, Ralph. Thank you. It's good to see you, my friend. It's good to see you. But if you look back in the presidency of our president for the last 2+ years, the only thing that he's done on top of making America great again is he's been draining the swamp. He's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents that ever lived. And I've had to say this to people that I love who hate him, but they don't get him. They don't get him. And you know what's funny is I always liked Donald Trump. I would never put him on a pedestal. And I never particularly liked him. I thought he was what everybody thought he was. He's a billionaire that is a likable guy that's got a pretty good handle on politics and business. And, there's not much to really hate about him. I mean, he's kind of arrogant and stuff, but not over the top. In terms of, look at me. He was kind of like, this is who I am. So you can like it or not like it. But then he became president. And it was really the things that he said going into the presidency. It was the way he handled these people in Washington. It was the things that he said that said, this is not a politician. This is a guy that is going to go in there and beat some ass. And as long as he does, I like the message, but as long as he does, I'm going to follow him. And if he makes good on what he's saying, I'm going to follow him. And he's gone so far above and beyond. And on top of that, with the Great Awakening and all the information that you know, you guys, I don't know how long this goes out. I don't. I think there's many facets to taking down the deep state. We're taking down the corruption within the US government at this phase. But this is a global issue. Global. It's a globalist issue. We got helicopters flying over my house right now. It's a global issue. And you have to root it out worldwide. And this is where China, and Russia and China, this is where it comes into play because of the other two world powers come into play. This plan is so ridiculously smart. It's going to be in the newly written history books of what really is going on in the world in the last century. And it will tie in the fabrics of Marxism and socialism and the Fabian socialism and the destruction of America and the plan to take down America and to elevate other countries, which again, I don't have a problem with that. But when you realize that it's all been fed to us as a bill of goods in an effort to really destroy our souls, destroy our willpower, destroy the fabric of the greatest country ever created under the guidance of God, which is what the original patriots wanted for this country, was life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, not corruption and taxes without representation. Down with the deep state. It's a tumor. It's embedded. It is corrupt. Its fingers encapsulate the world. And if they are anything, they are patient. We just happen to be alive at this time in our life where we get to see this dismantling of the satanic, absolute abhorrent behavior that in most people's minds that aren't awake might destroy them. That's why it's important to get our voice out. But this is like a velvet hammer. That's the one thing that the Trump presidency has been. It's been a velvet hammer. It could have gone a million different ways. It could have been a sledgehammer hitting a stick of dynamite. Or it could be what we're at now, which is, I think, a very, in hindsight, gentle awakening. I mean, Antifa is Antifa, but it's funded by Soros. So that's not organic. That's not an organic movement. They needed to create the chaos, and they will continue to. They still have some arrows in their quiver. That's all right. I think the plan is 18 steps ahead of them. Well, why not have fun? It's 17 steps ahead of them. And the deep state has painted themselves into a corner so far by not reacting to the early stages of the Q movement that, you know what, guys, listen, don't light the victory cigar yet. Don't spike the football, but you know what? It's coming. If you don't see now that the light at the end of the tunnel is not a freight train, it is actually the freedom where the people will rule and the people will decide the best for the people, then you're ignorant or you're asleep. But it's here. It's here. The important thing is that the world is going to experience peace. We are watching the self-destruction of the old guard, of the way things used to be. And you should celebrate. You should celebrate it for yourself for the rest of your life. You should celebrate it for your children and your grandchildren, because they're going to experience a life. Even if, listen, even at my age, I know that the direction that this was all going to take me, and maybe in 10 years, I'd have been one miserable bitch, because that witch had gotten in, and these freedoms that I grew up with for the most part in my life would have been taken from me. And I know they would have been taken from my children, my children's children going forward. But the reality is that most of us, I'm not saying all of us, but most of us have experienced the freedom and the joys of America. But being that I think we were one generation away. I think our kids would have had a very different life than us. And it was absolutely going in that direction. I don't know. I got a lot of word salad coming out of me tonight, and I don't know, but I I think it's going to be very, very great times. Maybe, dare I say, a golden age. Hey, Shaq, good to see you too. And Nazawa, dickhead. With all the love I can muster, which is a lot for you, my friend. I don't know. So, how'd I get the hat? How'd I get the hat? All right, so I'm in line. This is you guys, these are the type of people that are in our corner being patriots. So we got people moving up and down the line. They're selling memorabilia, Trump this, Trump that, mega this, mega that, USA this, mega everything. I'd been approached probably 8 times, along with many other fantastic patriots. You buy a hat, I take cash, I take a check. They got the little card swiper, all that. So I walk my ass. We finally get to, where the back of the line is for us. Sorry, still fighting this cold, but feel much better. And this guy walks by and he's like, don't be a Democrat, buy a Trump hat. They're like putting all this stuff out. And it's kind of funny, but I'm finally like in line, and I'm like, okay. I said, I'll take a hat. I said, but I don't have any cash. Just, swipe my debit card. And the guy's like, he's like, oh, he goes, my debit swiper, he goes, it's not working. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, man. And this guy who's peddling hats goes, and he takes the hat and he goes to me and he looks at me and he goes, but just do me a favor. And he throws it to me and he goes, pay it forward. And I go, really? He's like, yeah. And he's a black man. I go, okay. And as soon as he does that, this female patriot that's a couple people behind me says, I'm going to pay it forward right now. And she pulls out a $10 bill and slaps it in his hand and pays for my fucking hat after he told me to pay it forward. I didn't know her. I didn't know her at all. Not even a bit. Not even that much. That's our movement, you guys. On a very small scale. That's our movement. That's how I got this hat. I was totally willing to pay for it. The guy just couldn't, he didn't have a card reader. Everybody else had a card reader. But that moment, I believe, was made to happen for me to tell this story that I'm telling you right now. Listen, did she cure cancer? No. But did that, like, 30 seconds encapsulate everything that's going on with this movement and what it means to be a patriot? You're damn right it did. It did. And I got into conversations with these people. I stood in line for 3 hours. I educated you guys. I was holding court and not in a dick move manner. I was talking to my people, and that's why my daughter's boyfriend looked at me after a couple of hours and he goes, "You are with your people." And I thought, holy shit, yes, I am. Like 35,000 of them. We're not alone, you guys. We are not alone. This movement goes forward. Freedom awaits. And it's a great story. You know, it's a story that I will tell my grandkids. It's a story that I hope my grandkids will tell their grandkids one day. We're moving into the golden age of America, and you can feel it. It's in the air. It's absolutely in the air. My heart bleeds red, white, and blue. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. You guys know that. I don't do well at letting go when I do bad shit. I mean, I carry that shit like luggage, like bad alligator luggage that you can't get rid of. I carry that shit on my sleeve. But you know what? I carry these moments on my sleeve too. And I can't help it. I just can't help myself. I think I'm just here on this world to be a bald-headed tape recorder that just wants to feel every emotion that you can feel as you go through life and embrace it. You know, I'd like to think that most of the mistakes that I've made in my life are in my past. I want to believe that. And they you know, I think you guys, you know, drop your baggage. I know, I know, I know. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. It's okay. I love this country. I know that. That I know. Yeah, I know. I know. These are things that I know, Amy. I know these things about myself. I do. I do know these things about myself. And I think most of us do know these things about ourselves. But you know, I think that's also feeling these things that you go through in life are what create your humility, your humanity, your I don't know. You know, people that don't feel these things, people that do kill babies, people that do abduct kids in this net. I do question beyond their moral character, where does that kind of evil come from? Where that feels okay. Like I can do that. Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Oh, that kid? Yeah, I'll go get that kid. Sure. I don't understand that level of thinking, which means I don't understand everything that's going on in this world. I don't know. You were all looking for me in the crowd on TV. Well, you know what? You saw 10,000 of me in that crowd, D, because and you saw 10,000 of you. You are Q. We are Q. We are mega. That's something I learned, and we are not alone at all. At all. We're not alone. We are so not alone, you guys. Our strength in numbers is beyond scope. It's not even comparable. That should make you feel great because it made me feel fantastic. I don't know why I got so ill. I got so ill, you guys. I mean, I didn't move off that couch. I got in my pajamas And I was thinking, like, after the Trump rally, like, maybe I'll do a live stream. Well, I'm kind of tired. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow night. You guys, I couldn't move off the couch the next 3 days. I was so sick. Like, I haven't been sick in years. And I started taking the apple cider vinegar the very next day, trying to get on top of it. And I was taking the apple cider vinegar, and I think it helped me a lot, a lot. But for whatever reason, I wasn't made to do this live stream about the Trump rally until tonight. There was a reason that I couldn't do my live stream from the Trump rally, that the cellular data was just so gummed up that I couldn't do anything. I mean, my phone just sat there and spun. I couldn't do anything. But what I can tell you is it was an absolute amazing event, an amazing feeling. It was more amazing than the Mueller report coming out, because it let me know that we have so many people that are like right here with us, you guys. And maybe they don't all know about Q. But I will tell you, it wasn't for a lack of Q paraphernalia being out there, because I'll bet every fifth or seventh person I saw, and maybe that's an overstatement, every 10th person I saw had something where we go one, we go, oh, MAGA, trust the plan, Q. I mean, there's a lot of Q shirts. There was a Mark Dice shirt. There was a few of them. People are awake. Don't listen to television. We're awake. Our time's coming. And that's actually not even in question to me any longer. It's just not. So enjoy this. Enjoy this time. For those of you that are weathered and leathered and hardcore patriots that have been following this Q movement from the beginning, and even beyond that and before that, listen, it's been hard. It's been difficult. It's hard as fucking shit being the only one awake within your circle. And maybe your circle's disappeared. I get it. I understand it. It doesn't matter. It's not about that. It's about I was going to say America, but it's beyond America. This is a global event. Sometimes I think the world has been waiting for us, the people, to wake up. They've known this shit for a long time. They just haven't had a voice to scream at us and say, wake up, you fucking American sons of bitches, wake up. And some of us have been awake. Either way, it doesn't matter. The dam has broke. America is awake. And therefore, evil is all going to be but eradicated out of this world. You can't ever completely get rid of it, I don't think. But yeah. Yeah, it's coming. All right. So that's my Trump story. That's my MAGA story. I'll read the chat for a minute, and then I will probably wrap it up. I don't know. Read the chat. What's up with you guys? I think you're right, Shaq. And maybe even sooner than later, maybe. What tells me that is that just all is progressing to just such a head right now. The projection out of the left. I mean, you have Brennan, who's the former CIA director under Obama, saying that, well, maybe I got bad information. It's like, fucker, really? Really? Do you know what you've been saying the last 2 years, you dick? Maybe I got it wrong. I think maybe it's coming sooner than 6 months. I think it's coming way sooner. But yeah, you're right. Over the next 6 months, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be nuts. Thanks, Em. It's good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Didn't expect it, to be honest, on a Tuesday night, but here we are. Yeah, I think you built in a nice time frame though, Shaq. I I I do think like within 6 months, maybe like 98%, well, 94% of the people will be awake. Q has always told us that 4 to 6% will never accept the outcome of what's coming. And I guess that's okay. That's cognitive dissonance. You sometimes can't break through that barrier within people's psyche. Um, and we have a special word for those people, lunatics. But I guess we need those too. Those are to make the people that are just borderline lunatics go, man, I'm glad I ain't that crazy because Trump is right. Could be. You never know. All right, 1 hour and 1 minute, you guys. I think I'm gonna go maybe another minute unless you guys something you need to talk about, but I think I got everything off my chest. Yeah, KK, we are. KK Chris Coon. We are living in exciting times. That's for sure. We are. That's beautiful, Robert Nizal. I love hearing that. I love hearing that. And you know, it's funny. It's getting easier, isn't it, guys, to have a conversation with people? I mean, it the left is acting so crazy that it makes it a little easier to open that door. And what I on that point, Robert Nizal, is that when somebody says something like, well, blah 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 this, and I think this about Trump, um, it's great even to not educate them and just ask them, really? Why do you think that? And you don't even have to be like, mega, where we go when we go. You don't know about Q? It's great just to actually pose an innocent question like, really? Why is that? Trump's a racist. Why do you think that? I'm just curious. Man, he didn't like Mexicans. Really? When did he say that? I mean, I'm generally curious. When did he say that? I mean, because he doesn't like black people. Seriously? I mean, I hear you. I'm just wondering why he had all those pictures with Jesse Jackson and Reverend Ale, and he got an award, for standing behind African Americans. And you just watch their response. It's like they don't know. They're fucking brainwashed to the point where they'll just bow out, not even pissed. They'll just be like, I don't know. They don't have an answer. They're not educated, you guys. They're brainwashed. They don't know why they think he's a racist. They're brainwashed. And they're actually becoming quite easy as far as debates to like kill without making them look ridiculously foolish in the process. You're just simply questioning it because you have the burden of truth in your corner. And that is a beautiful thing to have in your corner, guys. It really is. I'll try, Trey. Thanks. I appreciate it. I'll try. I will try to do it more often. We'll see what comes in the future. All right. I love you all very much. And now you know this. Again, thanks so much for coming to the live stream. and hanging out with me and putting up with my BS. And we'll get together soon. All right. Y'all be good to each other. Don't forget to get on those knees. Thank the good Lord for the life you got. Lots of people got a shit life. Pray for them too. Y'all pray for each other. I love you too. Hey, Joe Mama. Thank you. Joe Mama. Always looking out for Bill. Y'all good. I'll see you guys soon. Make America great again. We're winning. You guys tired of winning yet? I ain't sick of it at all. All right. Till next time, you guys. Be cool.